Hello, I'm Sandra Victorova. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, Fort Myers Beach residents are frustrated that they'll lose their current discounts on flood insurance policies next year. The federal government took away the community's 25% discount on policy premiums because FEMA says the town has failed to sufficiently prepare for future storms since Hurricane Ian. One of the problems, large metal containers brought in after the 2022 storm are still used for storage or to operate businesses out of. Now, the people who depend on those containers for their financial survival are debating what to do next.
Happy customers spending money on Fort Myers Beach.
Well, the last few weeks have been great.
Business returning to La Ola Restaurant should have owner Tom Houghton celebrating. Instead, he is stressing about his family's financial future.
We have 4 teenage boys between us. I've got a lot to worry about and a lot of people that are relying on me.
The town says his containers, which he's operated his business out of for about 2 years, now have to go. Hurricane Ian destroyed the original restaurant. The town says Houghton's landlord is violating code by allowing the temporary structures to stay this long. The La Ola case has been sent to a judge at the Florida Department of Administrative Hearings.
The square has not been developed one iota since. It's going to be 2030 before the pier is built. In my opinion, we should be the last ones to redevelop. We're providing a lot of public benefit. You got smiles on faces, people walking by, listening to live music, providing the public bathrooms, a place to eat, all of that. And if I'm gone, probably a lot of the other little businesses right around me won't be able to survive either because it won't be driving the traffic to the area.
And I'll go through and look again and change quantities on stuff.
Nearby, Graham Belger worries about the future of his business as well. He says the goods hardware store is critical to rebuilding Fort Myers Beach.
It's a big deal to have this on the island where people don't have to go into town, deal with traffic, and 2 hours later come back with a couple screws or whatever it may be.
Belger, a father to 2, is trying to rebuild after Ian destroyed his 2 stores. A friend has allowed him to set up his container on her empty lot.
It's my livelihood. It meant a lot. I have to support my family, so it was everything to me.
Jackie Lezak, the lot owner, is also president of the Fort Myers Beach Chamber of Commerce. She faces the possibility of $250 daily fines, but hasn't asked Belger to leave.
I feel strongly about this, and so I'm willing to take that risk. But yes, I'm worried about it because every $250 I have to pay for a fine is $250 less that I can put into my building. And that's kind of crazy to me.
Here's the store. This is the ramp.
Lezak owned the Sea Gypsy until the historic Wood Inn was washed away by Ian. She and others say FEMA has left their town leaders in an impossible situation. They either rush business owners out of their temporary structures or leave the whole community footing a higher insurance bill.
It's a shame that we're being held to almost a hostage with the discount rate on the flood insurance.
You'll find violators across the island, from homeowners to construction companies, even the town itself. It's been running town government out of containers.
FEMA wants the town hall to get up and leave. Well, how are we going to run a town if we have nowhere to run it out of?
Town leaders hope to avoid ending up in front of a magistrate by moving into a new town hall building soon and getting town officials to drop the case against itself.
We hope to be able to have the trailers ready to go. So we talk to the magistrate. We say we would like, request to withdraw.
While business owners say they understand FEMA's concerns about the containers being a potential flood hazard, they say the federal government doesn't understand the enormity of the logistical and financial obstacles in rebuilding permanent structures here. Lezak says her story is a perfect example. Her small lot makes it tough to comply with standards set by the town, the state, and the federal governments.
We're a very old community. Many of the lots here are not standard size lots by any means. Most of them aren't even any kind of a normal shape. My hotel was 4 rooms and a gift shop. If I put a $3 million building up, because that's what it's going to cost to get it up high enough, in elevators, ADA, bigger bathrooms, bigger this, that, the whole 9 yards, concrete, the whole thing, 4 rooms and a gift shop couldn't make the mortgage. Couldn't do it.
I'd have to ask for 10 or 12 or 15 rooms, which means I have to go really high to squeeze all those rooms in. And we have a height restriction of 3 floors.
I am a sole proprietor. I've gotten no support financially from anybody, so I've exhausted all my resources.
As for Houghton, he created a social media video trying to convince anyone who would listen that his containers should be allowed. He says they can be evacuated quickly.
Hopefully explain how these shipping containers can be removed quickly and efficiently in the event of a hurricane.
I personally believe this should be the model that FEMA should use as to what we should have in these critical flood zones, where you need to be able to evacuate anything that's not 15 feet up in the air. Otherwise, what ends up happening is everyone gets priced out of the market. You end up having to put a $4 million building on top of this property. It's going to be a totally different culture here on the beach if we only allow these mega $1 million properties in the area.
But FEMA regulations say structures like this need to be able to be evacuated by lightweight pickup trucks. For now, Houghton's best shot appears to be negotiating with the town to see if they'll let him stay through season and give him time to try to find a permanent home for his business.
When you drive over that bridge, it's easy to fall in love. This is where I want to be every day, so I fight to stay,
A spokesperson for the town of Fort Myers Beach and for FEMA declined our request for interviews. In a statement, FEMA said it will continue to provide technical assistance to Fort Myers Beach to meet the standards and potentially end its probation status. It will be at least 2 years before FEMA reconsiders the town's status. As for the potential fines to individuals, a judge would have to rule on those cases before those fines would be imposed.